Hello children, good morning. Welcome for today's biology class. So today we are going to continue the chapter organisms and populations. So the topic we are going to cover is population interactions. So that is parasitism. First let us see regarding parasitism. So parasitism is an association of two living organisms in which one partner is under benefit and the other is getting harm. So one the partner which is benefited, you call that as parasite, and which is harmed is called you are calling that as host. One is guest, other is host. Okay, host is harmed and the guest is benefited. So parasites have evolved one or another adaptations also, and the adaptations sometimes you see here they may be having that type of adaptations, loss of sense organs and presence of hooks and suckers, loss of digestive system, high reproductive capacity, etc. So let us see the example. In the case of leech, so they have suckers, okay, to suck the blood. Apart from that, you see in the case of intestinal parasites, they have hooks and suckers together. So and the hooks for getting them to attach along with the system, and no need for sense organs also much for them because they are residing inside intestine. Okay, and digestive system, loss of digestive system because as they are intestinal parasites, they live inside the intestine, they already get the ready made digested food. So that's why the digestive system, it is poorly developed, but the reproductive system it is well developed and they have high reproductive capacity. So because there is wastage of eggs and all laid by them, that's why. And the life cycle of malarial parasite is very complex, and it involves one or more intermediate hosts also. So Anopheles mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito, they depend upon them, and they live upon human being also. And the liver fluke, and that also complete its life cycle in snail and fish. These are example for some parasites. So parasites it can be ectoparasites or endoparasites. So you see the plasmodium, it is plasmodium is endoparasite as it lives inside your body, and it uses it lives in your uses liver and RBC that we studied in previous class. The parasite, what does it do? It harms the host, okay, and they use the they consume the food from the host. So that's why, so the host will be under the loss, and it can be any type of loss. Sometimes they can be physically weak also, they can suffer from disease. The host, they will suffer from disease. We studied how the human health and disease, how the different type of microorganisms, they are causing damages. Sometimes they can lead to death of the host also. Okay, the parasites are of two types. It can be ectoparasites or endoparasites. So ectoparasites, they live on the external surface. So endoparasites within the host body. Okay, ectoparasites, for that you can tell lice, ticks, which live upon your body, that is in your hair. It can be otherwise skin. Okay, lice, it lives in your hair and sucks your blood also. Okay. And endoparasites inside the body, it can be liver, lungs, blood cells, like that. Malarial parasite, Tinea solium, ascaris are coming under endoparasite. Okay, so that only what I told you. The head lice in the case of human beings, and the ticks in the case of dog skin. Okay, like that marine copypods on fish, and cuscuta, that is plant parasite. So these are different type of ectoparasites. Endoparasites, this also already we discussed. Tapeworm in intestine, liver fluke in liver, plasmodium in RBC and liver. And the next type of parasitism, interesting one, is brood parasitism. This is a phenomenon in which one bird species, the parasite, that is the cuckoo bird, that it lays eggs in the nest of another bird species. So here the cuckoo bird, it lays eggs in the nest of crows, and the crows they incubate and they feed the chick, and they bring up this cuckoo chick and all. okay, but without knowing, unknowingly. So this type of method you call that as brood parasitism. The next is predation. So we completed this parasitism. Now let us go to predation. It is also an association, interspecific association, means two different species in which one animal, that is the predator, it kills and consumes the weaker animal, that is prey. So here it is one way of transferring energy, that energy flow occurs from one animal to other animal. So here even the plant eaters, you call them as phytophagous, they are also indirectly one type of predators only, but they eat the plant, that's why you call them as herbivores, that is phytophagous. And from there it is passed to herbivores, from herbivores to carnivores, like that primary carnivore to secondary carnivore, then tertiary carnivore, top carnivore, like that. The energy flow, for energy flow occurring and the maintenance of ecosystem, predation is must. That is the thing, it helps in energy transfer, and it helps mainly it keeps the prey population under control. If there is no predation, the particular prey population will increase. For example, if we kill the snake, then rat population will increase, and the rats it can damage your fields and all. So actually what does it do? The predation, it controls the prey population, and they help in maintaining species diversity in a community also. So what could be, so how the prey it survive themselves. So how do they survive? They have to survive of the predator they eat, then how they will survive? So by means of camouflaging. So they camouflage with the surroundings, accordingly they can live. Sometimes the monarch, some animals they produce some distasteful that is some substance, so because of that the predators they won't eat them at all. For example, the monarch butterflies they're highly distasteful, so that the predators they won't eat. Sometimes the plants also they do like that. The plants they produce some substances, you see the secondary metabolites what you studied in 11th, the extra secretions, the aromatic substances and other substances from the plants, the milky liquid. So when it is there, the predators, that is phytophagous animal, that is we call that as herbivores, they won't eat at all. So because it won't be tasty for them. In the case of calotropis, that is calotropis, what you call Tamilin erukku, that plant, they produce a milky secretion, so normally no animal will eat that. Okay, so in that way they are protecting themselves from the herbivores and all. So next one, commensalism. In commensalism, it is also an interspecific association in which one species is benefited while the other one is neither benefited or harmed. For example, orchids, they grow as epiphytes on mango and other fruit trees. The egret birds, you must have seen when the cow, buffaloes and all moving, along with them the small birds, the egret birds will be going along with them. Why do they go? So when they disturb the grass, automatically the insects will come out, then that birds they will eat the insects. So the birds are under the benefit, they can get the food, but the buffalo they are neither benefited nor harmed. So this type of method you call that as commensalism. Sometimes the birds they sit upon the buffalo, you see here, sit upon the buffalo and they eat lice and ticks from the skin. So here once again the buffalo is under benefit because they are getting free from the lice and ticks. Okay, so buffalo here one type of mutualism sometimes it happens. So when they eat that lice and ticks, they are free from the lice and ticks and they are getting the food, but they move along with the buffalo, so it is coming under commensalism. Okay, when they move along with the cattle, it is coming under commensalism. When they eat upon the buffalo and they eat, it is coming under mutualism. Okay, the next is amensalism. So amensalism is the association of two different species in which one species is harmed and the other is neither benefited or nor harmed. So one is harmed and other is not benefited, zero condition. So for example, antibiotics secreted by fungus, it kills other species of the bacteria. Okay, so for the fungus there is no benefit at all, but the other bacteria, no, it dies and it is getting the harm. Okay, this type of relationship we call that as amensalism. So today we completed different type of relationships. So that is we covered commensalism, amensalism, okay, and predation and all children. So the different type of relationship you study separately, and you have to remember the examples also. Sometimes in exam, by giving examples, they can ask you to find out the relationship between the two species. Okay children, so study thoroughly. If there is any doubt, no, still you can contact me. Thank you children.